Gorgeous shot of the Inner Harbor here in Baltimore, Maryland. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to turn left. We're going to dock the boat, head up Charles Street. We're going to run smack dab into Homewood Field, where today the Johns Hopkins Blue Jays, 11th ranked team in the country, going to delight fans young and old as they begin Big Ten play against the Rutgers Scarlet Knights.
Cardin Stoller will be a big problem for Hopkins today. He's Rutgers' most talented player, and he is in a most critical spot for the Scarlet Knights because he can stop the bleed, and he's the Big Ten Rookie of the Year in 2024, currently 8th nationally in save percentage with 60% in his back pocket, but he's dealing with a Hopkins shooting group that 7 of their top 8 scorers over 30%.
For Hopkins, they'll counter with Oran Gelinas in goal, making his second start as a member of this Blue Jays squad. Had 14 saves last week in a big win at Navy. Luke Stout is out with an injury, so the transfer from Ohio State between the pipes today for the Blue Jays.
Best seasons of any midfielder in college lacrosse.
Carlson loses it, tracked down by Jimmy Ayers. Carlson has plenty of time now. He's got some room to run, but he might step down. Instead, he passes it off. First save of the day for Stoller.
And that's where he's good. He plays a wide base. He's a big body. You watch him too. He kind of sits back in the goal. There's no jumpy feet there at a 92 in red.
You're going to see 7 in White Bauer. A lot of attack today. Tries to skip it way up top. Shot steered aside by Stoller.
You know, Rutgers has been really good over the years, the middle of the field, in terms of clearing and rushing down that right side.
Very well by Jack Montfort, veteran D-Mitty, and now it's a turnover. Here comes Hackler. He'll shoot. Save made that time by Stoller again.
You just see how good he is. 8 in red is their top option. Ideally, you want him at midfield, but he has to play attack for this team right now.
Kelly shoots on the run. Save made by Gelinas. That's his best save of the day here early.
You know, they were hurt.
Murphy is running that first attack unit. Save made by Gelinas. That's his best of the day. Couldn't finish. Still, though, keeps possession. Now he'll shoot. It's the outside of the cage.
Good. He's their best offensive player. I thought he had a spectacular freshman year with 20 goals in the Big Ten and a promising start. But like I said before, he's...
Hey there, it's Coach Damon. Real quick, if you're enjoying this save edit, I want to invite you to sign up for my weekly newsletter where I send out lacrosse goalie tips, tricks, drills, everything that I was working on during that week. It's absolutely free. Just go to laxgoalierat.com/email, enter your email, and you'll get the next newsletter. And while you're at it, be sure to like and subscribe to this YouTube video so that you can be notified when the next save edits come out. Let's get back into it.
With grad students too, the Mitch Bartolos of the world from UPenn and Connor Kurse from Villanova. Those guys had a wealth of experience by the time they got on the bench.
Great move that time by Dylan Bauer. Can't finish. And Rutgers takes over. This is like started out to be...
Spent 5-6 years at the school.
And yet here we are with Princeton, losing all that talent. Still a top 5 team in the country.
Credit to Coach Madelon. He's been amazing finding talent and developing. Last
15 to shoot. Wanted a flag. They aren't going to get it. Carlson on the move. That was Chick. Check it. Coming out of the timeout now with 20 to shoot. That's Cardilla up top to Summer. He already has 2 on the day. On the run, shoots. Forcing Gelinas to make the save, but he does just that. Now quickly on the other end. Back into his left hand, but nowhere to go with it. Skips it over to Bauer. Feeding inside. That ball. Boston with a full head of steam. Check. it to Bauer. Spins underneath his defender. Ball is loose in front. Now behind the cage, picked up initially by English. All kinds of battle for it. Coming out of there with it was Splain.
How they can beat the Terps.
And the other thing you think about if you're Rutgers, think about the job Maryland has done in May the last couple of years. When you peak at the right time, Big Ten tournament, anything can happen.
Absolutely. He's a big dude, 6'5", 210.
Yes. Gelinas really with a nice save. That was point blank from Kelly.
Yeah, that was one of his better ones of the day, Connor. I thought he read that beautifully. But Kelly dropped his stick and he shot low, too. As he was beating their defender, who is creating slides or getting to the rack on their own. That's what's going to define this offense right now that's struggling with 6 goals against a really good defense. Who can own a matchup? Because it's not going to be scheme. The scheme is difficult right now for the Blue Jays with all the different parts.
Gelinas with another save on Kelly. Eiler. Been quiet of late, hasn't he? Everybody on this Hopkins offense.
There's been no dodging threat. Like, Collison's goal was unassisted, but he didn't even beat Splain. He just rushed and pounded it through him.
Here's again another situation. This time he passes it off, but it's saved by Stoller. And he prevents it from rolling by him.
Wow, he's something else. He is something else. That wide base offensively for the Jays.
Yeah, had a bunch of lead changes and ties, and not since the end of that first half. So they reset the shot clock to 20. Broken stick for Rutgers, and unfortunate. And even in conference, Card, because their game next week at Michigan is suddenly a much better game, with Michigan beating Maryland today. They beat them in triple overtime.
The landscape of college lacrosse, who is the best team? No one can say who the top team is. No, and that's what makes this whole thing beautiful, right? Like, I looked at the teams on paper heading into the weekend, could argue there's 8 teams that could win a national title. But in May, I'm always going to lean towards someone who has a superstar. Superstars take their team.
Top to bottom, Big Ten, proving once again, every single game is going to be an absolute war this year in this conference, and today, no different, as Rutgers came into this game 4-5 on the season, struggling, and they pick up a huge win against Hopkins here at Homewood. For Hopkins, it's at Michigan next week, so it doesn't get any easier like it ever would in any week this year, Card.
No, and Rutgers, credit to them, take a bow. They answered the bell, everyone calling out their offense. You did, I did. They delivered in Baltimore.